Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. All right, we're talking about, again, some implications with regard to Social Security if you take early, the effect that it could have with regard to reduction of those benefits. And there is an exception to that, or sort of an exception to that. Let's say you started, in particular this year, as Dr. Fry was saying, as you mentioned Friday, that a lot of people, because of COVID, because of maybe losing jobs, determined I need some money and I'm eligible, I'm going to go ahead and take Social Security, even though they may have intended to take it later, when they retired.
Situations changed.
Exactly. Now, let's say that, speaking of that, maybe you got another job or got back to work, and it's still within that first year of when you started Social Security, and there is a rule, an exception, I believe is still in place, and I haven't looked at it in a while, so it's going by memory, but basically within the first year you could change your mind. You could say, well, you know what, I'm back to work, it was a bad idea to take it early, I want to delay taking my benefits, so I want to stop them. So again, within the first year you could stop them. Now you do have to pay the money back that you received. All right, so if you, I don't know, if you received $6,000, $12,000, whatever it is, you would have to give that money back, pay it back, and then you could start Social Security at some future point to be determined, based on your situation. So this is something to consider, in particular if you were impacted by that this year. Beyond that, again, as we said, not only, is the potential for reduction of benefits, taxation of benefits, there's a lot of downsides when it comes to, and important to understand how this Social Security thing works and what you want to do. I want to share one strategy, Dr. Friday, that we get into more, which is a Roth conversion strategy.
Yes.
And this is an area basically we were talking about taxes, the potential for taxes going up in the future being greater than ever, I would say right now. And with all the different things we were just talking about. So if taxes are going to go up in the future, would you be better to pay them when in essence they're on sale? They're very low right now, historically low. Would we be better to pay those taxes now rather than wait until the future? So this gets into things like, do I contribute to a traditional 401k or IRA, or do I contribute instead to a Roth 401k or IRA? And depending on your tax bracket now and what it would likely be in the future, meaning depending on what your income is going to look like and the likelihood of higher taxes, might I pay that lower tax now on that money so that it can grow tax-free?
Right. And we talk about that and have for a number of, especially the last couple of years, and it is paying even 22% now when you consider it be 25 to 30 possibly in the future is still a great savings in the conversion and the growing tax-free part, not having to take RMDs. There's a lot of nice things about the Roth that I have fallen in love with.
There you go. And this is an example too, as you're just alluding to, not only when you convert that money, not only does it grow tax-free, and when you take money out in the future, it would come out on a tax-free basis. There are so many other implications that go with that. One of those being required minimum distributions. On Roth, I don't have to take required minimum distributions, and anything I took out that means the tax-free dollars, if I took them out, are not going to impact my Social Security benefits we were just talking about being taxed. So that can help me control and manage my taxes in the future to a much greater extent. I can choose, if I've got money in a non-qualified account, I've got money in, say, my traditional retirement account, and money in a Roth, I can balance my income needs out in such a way to where I can have a higher income need met, yet at a much lower tax level. So there's a lot of planning strategies that goes into Roth. I encourage you, people, when you're listening out here, listen to this one. This was a big one. Roths are still one of the best things out there. And the legacy benefit now with the passage of the Secure Act last year and the new 10-year rule with regard to IRA distributions for inherited IRAs, if you've got it as a Roth IRA and you don't use all that money during your lifetime and you leave it to your children, your family, guess what? They get at least 10 years they can leave it in there to grow on a tax-free basis, and when they take it out, it's all tax-free to them as well. So it's still a tremendous strategy that I encourage you to look into. Again, if you need some help with that, if you'd like to, Friday and I work together on these so we can do conversions in such a manner that we minimize the tax impact. We look at your overall picture, put together a conversion strategy whereby we minimize taxes, of course, as you're doing the strategy, as well as for the future benefit that you're going to receive. So if you'd like some help with that, again, you can call my office at 615-376-5325. We'll schedule a time to come in. I can have Dr. Friday join us so you can get both of us in there to help strategize, to help you with your tax planning, with your financials, all of that. 615-376-5325. And again, when you come in, we'll also give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. IRA Mastery, by the way, is chapter 3, and I believe in that chapter, not only do I get into some things about other strategies as far as minimizing taxes, but the Roth conversion is one of those. All right, we got another caller. Let's see if we can get that in yet. And it's Charlie. Welcome to the Retirement Report. Can you hear me? All right. I'm done. I'm having fun with this one, right? Studio line 1. Let's see. Is it this one? Is this? Yeah, well, that's what I did. Let's try it again. Here we go. Okay, Charlie.
Caroline.
Caroline?
Caroline.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, Caroline. I'm having all kinds of technical issues today, but we're glad to have you join us on the show. How can we help this morning?
I wanted to ask you a question about my. I tried to strategize with, and in my strategy, I have 66% domestic U.S. personal stocks, and then I have 12% bonds, and I have 25% foreign with Asian. Does that sound like a good strategy for a portfolio?
Well, so far my numbers aren't adding up. Did you say how much in U.S.?
66%.
So we can't have 66, 12, and 25 because that is, I believe, over 100. But let's go with somewhere around 20% in bonds, let's say, and in emerging or in international. So you've got international, U.S., and bonds. You're pretty aggressive with that much in stocks. If you've got close to 90% in stocks, if your goal is to maximize returns, yep, that's a very aggressive portfolio to do that over the long term. Just understand you're also going to have much higher volatility with that many equities in your portfolio.
Right.
Okay, so tell me, are you retired now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do you use any of this money to supplement your income?
No, it's the stimulus money. I decided not to spend it and try to learn the market.
Oh, okay, I see. From that standpoint, then, I'll tell you what I'll recommend to you. If you, when it comes to investing, all right, one of the things, if you're wanting to try that out and on a limited basis, look at index funds. I would encourage you to call Vanguard in this one. If you've got just a small amount that you want to have invested and try it out, go onto their website, check out. They've got a tremendous amount of educational resources available. By the way, my website has some links as well for that. And I would encourage you to look at index funds. In particular, an S&P 500 index fund would be a good starting point, and then maybe adding some others to that. But Vanguard.com, I would recommend when you're first starting out in investing, and just in the importance of indexing, and you might even try like a life cycle fund or a target fund that can help you with that as well. And if you can call them, and they can help you with that. Okay.
Now,
all right. Whoops, I'm sorry. I think I cut her off from another question. Right. We had a break coming up. I'm going to have to break.
Yep.
And Dr. Friday, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be, of course, having you back here in the future as we get more into the tax season. So, hey, enjoy your day.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, take care. All right, we're going to take a break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.